whether you're a solo founder or managing a team, having an ad reference system is the secret weapon that most people are not using. And in this video, I will show you how to turn those messy folders and forgotten ads into a system that actually helps us test smarter, faster, and brief those creatives in minutes. What's going on, Dan? It's your boy Gary the Ad Wizard coming back at you with a brand new video. Guys, if you're running multiple ad campaigns across multiple different clients, it's really important that you stay organized and make sure that you keep track of what is running, what you have run in the past, and what you potentially plan to run in the ads that you have planned. Okay, to keep things centralized, to keep things organized, we have an internal system that I'm going to go through with you today. So by the end of today, you'll know exactly how to organize and plan your ads before they go live for either Meta ads or Google ads. I'm going to show you the organizational systems that we use for free that you can try out for yourself and your business. So stick around, guys. We're going to get into it today. So guys, by the end of the day, you will learn how we store and tag every ad for easy retrieval, how we tag our creatives with hooks and formats for even faster retrieval and scaling, the naming conventions that keep our account structure clean, the tools we use and where to foreplay and Notion examples of where we store our creative inspiration, and a sneak peek at our own ad reference libraries for Google and Meta ads. So guys, grab your coffees and grab your hats. It's time to spin up some ad magic. So I'm going to walk you through what we call a Meta ad reference guide, okay, where we organize and track and keep labeling of all our different creatives that we're about to launch or that we are prepping or we are waiting for approval on. I'm also going to go through a funnel ad reference guide, okay, so when you're building a funnel, maybe you'd like to label or organize your creatives that way. And I'm going to go through a Google ad reference guide. So Google, obviously slightly different, needs slightly different criteria to that which of Meta ad. So the Google ad reference guide, I'm going to show you a bunch of examples there as well, so you can see exactly for yourself how to do this. You might have an understanding of what you want to do for your business, okay? It gives you some examples of how we typically do this so that you have an idea of, hey, I want to try this for my business as well. Okay, guys, so I'm going to go through what we in the Ad Wizard team like to call, now the ad reference guide, like I mentioned, is a way for you to store and organize all of your ads, all of your copy, and plan your ads before they go live in the Ad Manager. Is also a very good way to showcase to your client, if you have a client, the type of ads and the type of copy that you'll be running. So guys, the ad reference guide, as we like to call it, takes all shapes and sizes, and we nearly always customize them to what the client wants. Okay, as you can see here, just flicking through some of these, and they all have slightly different layout, slightly different way of showcasing the ads. They all have very similar structure in terms of headline copy, ad copy, and description copy. We have links to creative folders, the URLs we'll be using. Within the URLs, if there's any specific UTMs that we'll be using as well. We have a preview here, and this is all done within a Google Sheets system. It is a way, like I said, for the client to be able to see the types of ads that we're running, how we're organizing things. We typically have a different tab for each campaign or a different style. Sometimes we do bottom of funnel, middle funnel, top of funnel in different tabs. We have all the different campaigns here. And this is typically, this one's slightly different, for example, as we can see, slightly different layer. We have approval for each post. Like I said, these are great ways to organize all of your ads beforehand so that you can plan and organize before your ads go live. Next, guys, is a type of ad reference guide that we also create around funnels. Now, typically we might have a funnel flow chart like this one, but we may also want to organize the ads based on the funnel structure itself, okay, and then articulate what ads we're going to be using in what section of the funnel. So this is what we call a funnel ad reference guide, okay, so we can see how people are moving down the funnel and what type of content we're using at each level of the funnel. Okay, so there are different types of ad reference guides. Sometimes when we're building whole funnels, it is a good way for the client to be able to see this, so they can see, okay, this is top of funnel, here's all the top of funnel ads, and here's all the criteria for that. Here's middle of funnel, here's all the middle of funnel ads, and here's bottom of funnel, here's all the remarketing ads and everything else, right? So it's a way for them to see the funnel and how it's presented. And here's another example, right? So very typical, we have top of funnel, what kind of content that we're showing, middle of funnel, what kind of content that we're showing, and bottom of funnel, what kind of content that we're showing. Okay, so we have variety, and here we have different versions, different previous versions. As we've grown and developed the funnel, tested new things, we've kept track of every single funnel structure that we've had in the past so that we can always refer back and always go back so we know what was working and go back to those learnings to double down on those things that work. Now, guys, the final ad reference guide that I would like to show you is the Google ad reference guide. So we've gone through obviously the Meta ad reference guide, where it has different creatives. Google ads are slightly different because we might have search campaigns, we might have app install campaigns like here, and the Google ad reference guide is also a way to store all of the copy, all of the headline, all of the description copy, everything that you'll be using in one spreadsheet so that you know and the client knows what has been some of those results. Okay, here we have a whole YouTube section, okay, where we're running YouTube specific ads. And again, these ad reference guides take all forms of shapes and sizes. You might use your keywords that you've used and store those here. These are the keywords that we'll be targeting initially, all those kind of things. Again, it is a way for you to get an understanding and give a plan together before you go live, so you can always refer back and see these are the type of things that we have used in our old campaigns. It's not an essential, guys, but it helps you stay very organized and allows you to keep track. For example, within this particular ad reference guide, this is a PMax campaign ad reference guide, and here we have loads of different targeting. Here we have within each asset group, we have different audience signals. So for us, it was important to track which asset group had which audience signals in them so that we can keep track of what headlines we've used, what headlines and descriptions and long headlines we've used, and all those kind of nice things that make PMax campaigns amazing. All the search keywords that we'll be targeting and creating a plan of action before you go and press any buttons on the ad manager, that you had a plan of action in a spreadsheet, very much like how these ad reference guides are doing and representing your ads without having to go into the ad manager themselves. Sometimes it can get very confusing. People can get lost in the ad manager. And this is a very nice, easy and client-friendly way, we think, to showcase the ads that we're running and all those things. Secondly, guys, now that we have a good understanding of how to label our ads and how to organize them, okay, now as part of the creative sprint process, we want to go through and we want to have a tracking spreadsheet for our performance creatives, okay, for our ads. We want to be able to track what is working, what hooks are working, what length is working, what format is working the best for your ads, okay? So I'm going to go through a typical spreadsheet that we might spin up as part of this creative iteration testing process. Okay, and I'm going to link a card in the top corner if you want to check out how to do our sprint processes, guys. I highly invite you to go and check those out for yourself. Really, really interesting. If you're looking to double down on your performance creative, if you're looking to double down on the successes of your ads, we need to have a system in place where we're creating new ad and doubling down on the things that work, right? So guys, I'm going to go through some creative tracking spreadsheets right now, which will give you an example of how we organize this and how you could organize this for your business. All right, so hit me a comment down below if you got any questions. Now, guys, I'm going to go through a creative testing spreadsheet, okay, for you to log your creative sprint and creative iteration learnings. Okay, so if you're doing performance marketing and performance creative, and you want to ensure that the creative you are running is maximized as much as possible, to maximize on that performance, guys, we need to log the learnings of each creative, okay, each creative test. Now, I'm going to link a card in the top corner. If you want to learn how to do creative sprints, this is part of that stage, okay? And what we do, I have gone through this particular spreadsheet in other videos, but what we do here is we log the learnings of each creative. What was the hook? How long was it? What was the dimensions? What makes it great? What were some of the results and all those kind of nice things? Then we log and which one is the winner. The idea here, guys, is that we're constantly learning through testing different creative so that you might have some idea on how to iterate on creative based on learnings that you've had previously. So the idea here is that we're constantly doubling down on the things that are working, testing and iterating on our winners to see if we can get even better results, and constantly testing new ideas, new creators, and logging those learnings within a spreadsheet like this, so we can constantly test new ideas, new creative within our creative sprints and log and feed this back to the team, guys. It's just super cool to be able to do this and to share the learnings with the team as to what's worked well, what hooks, angles, messagings, and pain points, and all those things that have resonated well with the target market, and sharing that with the sales team and all those nice things. Again, these spreadsheets can take all different shapes, sizes, and forms. And here's another version whereby we're just making a note of what the hypothesis is, what the test results are, whether the original one or the iteration that we created from the original one as well, so that we are logging these results. This is another version of a way to see that, guys. Highly recommend doing this within your creative sprints. If you're focused on your performance creative and you want to double down on the things that are working, make sure that you're logging your learnings so that you can also feed that back to the team. The last one that I want to show you guys is one that can be used, for example, on Notion. Again, this is not a sponsored video, but here they have some templates for add creative storage ideas. What you can do here is log what's worked well and link all of the creatives. Is it a winner? Is it not? Within a Notion board system. So if Notion is your preferred option, guys, highly recommend this one as well. Make sure that you stay organized around your creative. But before we go anywhere else, and you're new here, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you never miss any more important updates. We are here many times a week to help business owners, online advertisers, and digital marketeers get the best from their online advertising, paid media, and digital marketing strategies. But without further ado, let's get on with the video. Okay guys, but now I'm just going to go do some ad naming examples, right? So if you ever wondered, hey, how do I name my campaign? What do I name my ad set? What do I name my ads? Okay, I'm going to show you the tips and tricks that we use in our agency so that you might like to try this yourself, so you have a really organized way of labeling your campaigns, labeling your ad sets. They're really easily identifiable, and you can report back on what you can see really easily what is working in the ad managers, and you can report back on those learnings. So guys, hit me a comment down below if you got any questions. Now guys, if you have ever wondered, what should I call my campaigns? What should I call my ad sets? Well guys, I'm going to go through how we label and organize our ads dependent on what each element of the labeling contains. Let me give you an example, guys. As you are creating your campaigns, your ad sets, and your ads, there are specific criteria that you will be adding in. And therefore, what we have done is create a naming structure whereby, as soon as we look at the name, we know exactly what it is targeting and all of the intricacies of the ad set within the name itself. Okay? Remember, hey, Jeff, how do you do that? Well, here is a spreadsheet that we set up that allows us to identify all of the different sections for campaign names and for ad set names. For ad names, okay, this has its own system, and I'm going to go through that one as well. But the idea here, guys, okay, as you can see here, this is the campaign name. The campaign name is FB/IG best performers plus warm/hot underscore conversion in brackets remarketing. The reason that we have that naming structure is because it defines exactly the settings of the campaign in the name itself, right? So what are the options? Well, zoomed in a little bit for you guys there so you can see a bit better. So the idea is that we will identify what's in this campaign and use it in the name. So platform. Whoa, what platform are we running our ads on? In this case, we can identify it as Facebook, Instagram, or Facebook and Instagram. Okay, so I look at this name and I know straight away this is a Facebook and Instagram campaign. Then we look at what we call here content group or theme, right? What theme does this campaign have? So in this case, there are a number of different options. Obviously, we have best performers, we have different product names. Maybe we have a campaign for each product. Then the next section is plus warm-hot. Okay, so what audience are we targeting? Is it cold? Is it warm? Is it warm/hot? These are the different options here. And as you can see, we're building this into our name. What campaign type? So in this case, it's a conversion campaign. We can have reach campaign, we can have traffic campaign. Okay, and then any additional information that we want to include within this, for example, remarketing. Okay, so it's a conversion campaign and it's a remarketing campaign. Okay, so this is typically how we might structure the naming of our campaign in order so that as soon as we look at the name, we can see exactly what it is. Okay, we can see exactly what type of ads are in that campaign and all those nice things. And as we can see here, the spreadsheet is self-calculating. So no matter what we decide to change here, the campaign name is automatically adjusted. Now I'm just going to go through the ad set name, guys, just very quickly, but it follows the same process, the same structure. Okay, so here, what we want to be able to do is look at an ad set name and be able to see exactly what that ad set contains. Okay, so what we've done here is we typically start off the ad set name with audience 1. Okay, then plus, is there another audience targeting on that? Is there another grouped audience interest-based targeting on that? Okay, there might not be, in which case sometimes this is blank. A lot of the times we might be targeting 2 different interest groups. Okay. And here, what age range are we targeting in our audience? In what gender are we targeting in our audience? Now for placement, okay, here. So here for gender, it's encapsulated in these square brackets, right? So we can see here. The reason that we used to do this is because we used to split this out in Excel sheets into pivot tables and all those things. And the way that Microsoft Excel could read pivot tables was the differentiator mark between each one. That's why all of these have different differentiator marks. In case you're wondering, guys, that is exactly why, because we used to work with pivot tables where this was really, really important. We since then have kept our naming structures, but we no longer use the pivot table tactic. Going on to placements, sorry guys, got a bit distracted there, but we're going on to placements now. What type of placement is it? Is it story reels? Is it feed? Or is it auto? Okay, is it auto placements? You can label that here so that as soon as we see in the ad set name, this is an auto placement ad set. Cool. Location, and after the placement is location, then how much the daily budget is. Sometimes we update this, sometimes it isn't. It is a bit more annoying to have to change the name of, we can typically see what the daily budget is at the ad set levels. Might want to change this. We set it as 1 at the beginning and then sometimes we adjust it. And then lastly, we got in brackets, any additional information. Is this, what type of conversion is it? Where is this person landing? For example, any additional information that we want to attach to that ad set name as part of the labeling and organizational system. Now, guys, I'm just going to quickly go through. We're doing something very similar, okay? So what we're doing is we're creating our ad naming structure based on what is in the ad. Now, what you can see here is what this is doing. This is automatically generated from the individual things that we're adding in here. For example, what is the name of the file? The name of the file is the date and then specifics around what product it is, what influencer, what size, etc. But that's just the name of the file so that we know what file it is linked into the G Drive. Then we have the date, which is linked out. Then we have the theme or the topic, like I mentioned before. We have the code name idea. So this is based on a theme. The hook creative, which is, what hook and what UGC are we using here? The content size, in this case, is 9:16, okay? Reel and story size. What's the time? How long that video is. The offer, whatever the offer is that we might have tied to it, the hook, so the first 5 seconds, we include that as well. So up to 1/3 of people worldwide in this case. And then we've got the ad copy, the headline copy, and the description copy as A1, B1, and C1. Because, guys, which links back to our ad reference guide, which I mentioned previously, where we might label different ad copy variations, A1, A2, A3, different headline copy variations, B1, B2, B3, and the same with description copy, okay? So if you have multiple variations and you want to be able to label those, this is what we can also store in the ad reference guide so that you can label your ads and then refer back to your ad reference guide and then know exactly what type of copy has been used, okay? Because you'll be able to see it in the naming of this, right? Now, finally, we'll have the CTA, so the button that somebody clicks on, and the final information piece of section is the landing page. So will they land on a product page? Will they land on an educational landing page? Will they land on a direct sales page? Will they land on a lead funnel page? Whatever that page is, we also describe it here at the very end. So that now, when we look at the name of this ad, it's very, very clear to see exactly what's in this ad. And when we look at all the others and compare the results, it's really, really easy to see which one's best, which one has worked the best. All of the things that are in that ad, meaning that in one glance, we can see what has worked, which is amazing. Comment on below if you got any questions. And finally, guys, I'm going to tell you where we store our creators. So when you're inspired and you feel like, hey, that's a really nice piece of creative, I'd love to try something like this. Well, where do you store your ad creative ideas, right? So I'm going to show you a couple of things that we do to save ad creatives for our clients, for ourselves, so that we can say, hey, this is a great example of an ad that we want to create, or we want to iterate, or we want to create an emulation of, and you want to be able to store those, right? And I'm going to go through a tool called Notion, and both of those, how we store our ads in those platforms. The last thing that I want to show you is how to store your ad creative for future inspiration and reference, okay? And like I said, this is not a sponsored video, so none of these tools and tricks that I'm showing you are sponsored at all, but one tool that we love to use at the AdWizard team is a tool called Foreplay. It allows you to store content, creatives, and social media posts within folders in a really nice organizational system, okay? So it allows you to store different themes and different ideas within the Foreplay boards themselves. We love Foreplay and it's a great tool. This is not a walkthrough on how to use it. This is just 2 different tips and tricks. Okay, so we've got Foreplay, and then anybody who likes Notion, as most people know, I love Notion, always endorse them. Again, this is not a sponsored video, guys, but if you love Notion, you can also store your creative ad ideas in Notion itself. Okay, so you just have a giant Notion board with all of your different creatives that you stored along the way. Okay, and all of the different things. So you can always refer back to these, emulate as you wish, and discuss them as a team as to what you would like to prioritize next within your creative sprints. There's another type of ad library that you can create on Notion, okay? Month by month inspiration. It's a giant board which can be then broken down by different months and different creators, for example. Again, we're storing all of these ads into Notion. So we have all of these within drop-down little tabs, and then we're storing all of the video ads and all of the things that we love to see. We'd love to maybe try within our ads ourselves and replicate and emulate. So there are top tips and tricks to storing creative ad ideas for your ads. Can you comment down below if you got any questions? Guys, if you're interested in following the AdWizard team, okay, I'm not quite sure what I'm building yet. If you want to signal your intent of interest, click the link below to join the AdWizard waitlist and be the first to get exclusive access to whatever it is that we are building. If you want in, no pitch, just early access. Click the link down below to join the waitlist today. Woo! And that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all the feedback, all the questions, and if you have any questions of your own, hit me a comment down below and I'll reply to them in the upcoming videos. If you want to watch a video on how we do creative sprints, okay, how we organize our time around the creative sprint process, so we're doubling down and we're working and we're creating better ads, better, more impactful ads, then click this video over here. I got a link over here, guys. There you go. Watch that video. I'm your boy Jerry the AdWizard. You can catch me on X and Instagram at Jerry AdWizard, at Jerry Griffiths on LinkedIn, and at Jerry Dreadlocks everywhere else. I'm your boy Jerry the AdWizard, and wherever you are in the world, I bid you peace and love and a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.